This presentation is an overview of schools in United Kingdom and Australia, or applications. I put them together because they're kind of similar in what they want, but United Kingdom wants more than what Australia does. So if you're applying to the United Kingdom, students can only apply to four programs. Otherwise, students choose 5. UCAS is ISY is a UCAS center, so when students apply, they need the UCAS buzzword for ISY. But what that means is that I can check over their applications and get into seeing what they put in, make sure it's all correct. I can see their essay that they put in. You guys pay, and then I actually send it. So it's really me being more involved in their applications. In Australia, there's no system like that. You just apply to each university separately, and you can apply to as many as you would like. When it comes to medical, since I mentioned medical in the UK, you can apply to as many as you like medical, but Australia they've moved a lot of their medical programs to the graduate level. So you still have a fair number of universities where you can apply as an 18-year-old to medical, but more and more schools have moved their medical programs just to the graduate level. United Kingdom, they're pretty straightforward. They need your students' predicted scores. They have an essay in which they mainly focus on why they think they're ready for the program, the course that they're going to apply to, and they need to talk about how what they've done outside of school relates to the course that they're taking. So, for example, somebody studying history, you'd hope that they can talk about being involved in Model United Nations, or that they read a lot, or they've read a famous book from one of the more famous historians and have learned something from it, so that they can talk about it in their essay. And then the recommendation is seen as a school recommendation, not just the counselor. So I go ahead and write it, but I get feedback from teachers about how students are in the classroom. So the UCAS, the United Kingdom schools, really want a recommendation from the point of view of the school on the student and how they are as a student. And then if students are looking at Oxford or Cambridge, 90% of those courses need a test. We are a test center for many of them, not all of them. And then there's some other ones, like sometimes an economics program or something needs extra tests. So you need to be careful and check. Most of them will ask for an IELTS test, and you'll need the IELTS to get a visa. So if you're going to the United Kingdom, IELTS test it's a good idea to take the IELTS test. For Australia, you just need predicted score. That's it. Australia is very, very easy, straightforward. When you're looking at universities and you look for a course, that course, you should be able to find required IB points for that course. And as long as you get the required IB points, they will accept you. That's it. For UCAS, I can show you a little bit on that. UCAS.com. This is a really good website. So not only do kids apply through this, they can also do a lot of good searching on this. I'll show you a little bit. Most students in the senior class are already familiar with this. Most have gotten into it and done the research or even started up, but they should be registered. So, for example, this is a example. Maybe you want to go straight history. Students entering 20. And you can do a search and it'll pop up schools for you. And then you can put in more searches, like you can look on a map and you can find out where, and you can start looking at specific courses. And then they will tell you, so let's do University of Aberdeen. And you can do, and so they have also Scottish universities, stuff that's located in the British Isle, Ireland. So it's all over England. You can restrict it to just on the map. You can restrict it to just Greater London if you want as well. And so then here's the thing. So for this history program, they want 32 points, and they require 555 at HLs. And so this is pretty typical what a student will see. and so they can tell if their predicted score is at that point. So predicted scores are become really relevant for students here, and students, once they get their predicted scores, they should be doing research. They should have. I've talked with all the seniors about maybe where they would end up with predicted scores, and so they can do research kind of with that, and then they need to have sort of a list of schools they think they will apply to, and more than 5. And then once they get the predicted scores, they can then make the final 5 determination of schools that they apply to, and so that they have a good chance of getting at least a couple of acceptances. Australia has a similar website. Let me see if I can pull up the. Yeah, so this is a very, very good resource that I've asked kids to use. There's Australia. And they give you really the best websites to go to. So for a couple of things, the overlay of Australia, there's a group of 8. These are probably the most well-known universities in Australia. And they're the most probably organized. They know the most about international students. Trying to come up with a list. Our universities. Here we go. And so you can kind of look here at the university profiles. It's a complete list of universities. Okay. So you can kind of get a sense for where the universities are. But there is also a search. You can do a search on here. Trying to think. That's very, very small print. Let me see if I can bring that up. Oh, I don't think so because it's a PDF document. It's probably study in good to know. Study in Australia. It might be on the back page. But the nice part about this document is that you can click on the links actually in the document. There it is, Study in Australia. And it'll take you right to what those links are. And so you can put in a course subject, the level. So for example, undergraduate bachelor degree, and then you can put in field of study, and you can even put in region. So if you wanted to stick to like where Melbourne is or something, you can put in the area, and then you do a search, and then it'll give you the programs that universities have, and then it's not as helpful as UCAS, but once you find out where some of the universities are that have your field of study, you can go to school's website, and it takes a little bit to click around, but they should have for that course what IB points you need. So that's kind of the overview of both the United Kingdom and Australia.